report from UN talking about what is happening in Gaza. And here is what was reported based on that report.
UN Commission report carried out by a committee of independent experts says that Israeli troops deliberately shot at Palestinian children during the 2.5-year war in Gaza and carried out genocide and war crimes.
There can be no doubt in anyone who reads today's report that every international legal norm has been violated by the actions of the Israeli authorities towards Palestinian children, and they need to be held accountable.
These are allegations that Israel has long denied, but this report focuses specifically on the treatment of Palestinian children in Gaza. It says that 21,000 Palestinian children died as a direct result of the hostilities. Thousands more were injured, including 10,000 suffering hearing loss, 5,000 with hearing loss so severe they can no longer hear bomb warnings. The report says that Gaza has the highest incidence of child amputations anywhere in the world, some of those amputations being carried out without anesthetic. It says that when Israel bombs large residential areas with powerful munitions, children more often die, 7 times to 1, because of the smaller surface area of their bodies, thinner skin, lighter weight, which means they can be thrown across the room. It is very, very grim reading. One account from a doctor in Gaza is particularly troubling. The doctor says, based on the clustering of injuries and the targeted body parts, I assess that the Israeli soldiers have been deliberately shooting teenage boys in a game of target practice, a different body part being targeted on different days. That is very tough stuff.
Yeah. You see?
And I'll tell you that to everyone listening and watching that report, it is absolutely true. It is absolutely true. As bad and as dystopian and as vicious and disgusting as it sounds, it is absolutely true. And the GHF was a part of that in terms of luring starving people, many of them children, to these distribution sites to where the IDF could then open fire and kill them. Exactly as that report says. Exactly as that report says. The deliberate targeting of children. The deliberate targeting of teenage children with specific body parts given a different day, the specific targeting of infants, the specific targeting of young children who could not run away. On the 28th of May, Amir being one of those children that the IDF killed outside of distribution site number 3. And to anybody that would listen to the IDF themselves saying that didn't happen, well, you're just as complicit in it, and you're a fool and an ignorant idiot if you think that the IDF said it didn't happen, so it didn't happen. You're an idiot. Look, I mean, the evidence is overwhelming, and yes, as hard as that pill is to swallow, the IDF and the nation of Israel, of which the United States considers an ally and has been hand in glove with what's been happening in Gaza, has specifically targeted over the course of this conflict children, explicitly, directly, and inhumanely. And it's disgusting. And more of the truth will come out. The more investigations that occur will reveal more of what the truth is. CNN did an independent investigation days after the ceasefire in October of one of the sites, the site near the GHF site that was near the Netzarim corridor, because that's as far as they could get. The Netzarim site was very close to the border. So they were able to at least get to that site before restrictions were in place. And they discovered hundreds of bodies just simply bulldozed and buried outside of site number 4, the GHF site one of the sites that I worked at. And I can validate that we saw that happening. And the majority of those that couldn't get away or that were the most vulnerable, being the elderly and children, is who were most targeted by the IDF. And it's true, it's real, and as hard of a pill as it is to swallow, it's the truth.
Yeah. Every time I think of Gaza, I remember the guy that you've mentioned in our first talk, Amir, if I'm not mistaken. His name was Amir.
Yes, Amir, on the 28th of May, 2025, distribution site number 3 in the central Rafah, just a stone's throw away from Nasser Hospital, where hundreds of children were targeted and slaughtered by the IDF. And we continue to see that the IDF have a clear and cruel history of doing exactly this. It was no different in 2025. It's no different now. It was no different when the IDF targeted and killed Hind Rajab. The evidence is overwhelming. And if people choose not to believe it, then again, that's to their own ignorance. And I fear for their souls.